Good morning.
Yes.
What a night.
Good morning. We slept about 3 hours.
Dude, what a morning. First of all, our day is going excellent. Guys, before we get into that, welcome to another episode of the SoFlo Sports Show. It's your host, 305 Sports Week, co-host Miami Lou. And we look exhausted. We really look the part.
Apologize the appearance. We literally just got up like an hour ago.
We're actually still wearing what we wore last night. So if you guys see any pictures, yes, we did not get changed.
No.
Let's just get right into it, man. How about them Canes?
Incredible victory. I'm proud to say that we had a watch party thanks to JD Boss, Hurricane, hopefully fan of the year. He should be the fan of the year. He put together a tremendous watch party at the Carolina Ale House in Weston, right? Mm-hmm. And in Broward, in Broward County. So we all went out there and got together to watch the Canes. We thought they were going to take care of business all night long, but well, it took a little bit of a while, but shout out to everybody that was there. Pat was there.
We had
JK.
Such a great time doing that with our friends, and there's so many. The Canes have such a great following as it is, especially in Broward County, and that often gets overshadowed by everyone at 305. But the Canes fans that live in Broward County really show up. So there's tons of people there last night and this morning, because it was really this morning, because that's when it really got hefty.
JD advertised it as a vampire party because you had to stay up late to watch it. We're still on West Coast time, so it worked out in our favor.
Speak for yourself.
Well, I am still. I'm always on West Coast time. I love staying up for the late games. But look, everybody went out there. The game actually it was scheduled to start kickoff at 10:30. It ended up getting it got pushed back, so it kicked off at around 10:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the game ended at 2:35, 2:40 in the morning. And the Ale House, credit to them and credit to JD for setting it up. They stayed open for us, and a good amount of fans, I would say about 85%, stayed. Some people couldn't hang around because it looked bleak there for a moment, but we stayed, and a big number out there stayed, and it was awesome.
Yeah, no, you talk about staying, and this is one thing that I learned, especially during the Baltimore game that we went to 3 years ago.
That's right.
I mean, I even knew it before it, but you guys never leave. You just cannot. Even just the Mets. The Mets, 3 days ago, they were down and came back in the eighth and ended up winning the series, and look where they're at now. So
incredible.
That's one thing.
The moral story: never leave.
You can never leave.
You pay for it, and it's not. Obviously, Miami's had some instances where they've left the game early. Most notably in Game 6 of the NBA Finals in 2013, when we were down by 6 points. It didn't look good.
Yeah.
LeBron hits a three, and then Ray Allen hits the biggest, for my money, not for my money, just for everybody's money, the biggest shot in NBA history. Down 3 in Game 6, elimination. They brought out the yellow ropes, and the Heat came back and they won it in 7 games. You just mentioned the game in Baltimore, the Charm City comeback, as it's known as.
I mean,
the Miami Miracle, right? That didn't look too good, and next thing you know, the Dolphins end up winning on a touchdown from Tannehill to Parker to Sills to Drake. And come on, I mean, you just can't leave these games early.
You can't, especially obviously baseball, and then. Baseball in October. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But even yesterday, it was just a wild day in college football. Probably one of the wildest that I can remember in a very long time. And we'll get into that as well. But let's rewind yesterday. We wake up. You set an alarm, which you never do on the weekends, and you set it for 9 a.m. And why? Because it is college game day in Berkeley, California.
First time ever.
And the guys will tell you, when they were getting ready and stuff, they were like, they didn't know how it was going to go down. The guys meeting the guys on the show say, hey, we've never gone to Berkeley. It's not known to be like a big college football town per se as these other towns.
Well, I mean, just because they won a long time ago. We were there, and I'm going to put a picture in a second here. That stadium's been around for a long time. They have very notable quarterbacks: Jared Goff, Aaron Rodgers. That went to Cal.
Marshawn Lynch
went there. He was on game day yesterday.
He was so awesome seeing. He was wild.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a wild one.
But they as of late they've been kind of
the brainy school.
Exactly.
Always a brainy school.
They've always been a brainy school. But but it was first time ever that game day went there, and what a great show it was. I'll be honest, and I know we don't like to talk politics in the show, but look, it's very obvious that Florida and California are very different. Very different. And so
very different.
All the signs. Shout out to all the Berkeley kids. They're smart for a reason, right? A lot of the signs were pretty funny. I gotta admit,
they made their point election year.
They made their point, and it was definitely interesting to see it out there. And, it was a cool scene. Everybody on the panel was great.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mario Cristobal, Kane's coach. He actually is only the second coach ever, the visiting coach. It's very tradition for the home team coach to show up on game day, but Mario Cristobal is only the second coach ever to show up on the set of game day. So that was awesome. And of course, he was on Nick Saban's staff at Alabama.
Yeah.
And there was a point in the program where Nick Saban was trying to give credit to Mario Cristobal for his work recruiting wise in the Miami area. Mario Cristobal is of Cuban descent. So he said, hey, when Mario went into these people's homes to various recruits, he was able to speak Spanish, and we were able to land these players. And Mario, deadpan, looked at Nick and said, no, I was just protecting you from Dolphins fans, because
we're just
we're still bitter about who I like to call Nick Satan down here in Miami for the way that he left our Dolphins.
No, definitely. Anyways. So getting back, college game day started at 9:00 our time. A lot of people were watching it. It was a really, really good show. They did a fantastic job. They have a contest where, you can make a field goal for money, and the kid ended up nailing it for $100,000. So that was even wild. The kid was wearing Vans. He was Vans without even shoelaces. You know how they saw like laces out and stuff? The kid didn't have laces to kick it with. So he ends up nailing that field goal. Kirby
Hershey made fun of him. He said, I don't feel good about this. You're wearing Vans, and this shoe might go flying into the crowd. I don't know about this. It's almost like anybody who's ever seen the movie White Man Can't Jump. It's almost like they picked this kid out of the crowd knowing this guy's got no chance to make it. So he ends up kicking it the first time.
And it goes wide
right.
And
it went wide right, but that shocked everybody.
That even made it, even got air.
Specifically Pat McAfee, who's a punter and knows all about kicking. He was like, wow, I did not expect that. I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you another shot, and I'm going to make it 100,000. And guess what? And we should have talked to the beginning of the show. The hurricane that's been impacting North Carolina.
We're about to get another one in 2 days.
We're going to get another crazy one. So Pat McAfee had made an original donation of, not him himself, but towards the cause, $500,000, and they upped it to $600,000 if the kid made the kick. And he did. He nailed it. He right down the middle. It was a great moment. And the show was just awesome all around.
But even before that, so you guys remember 9:00, like I say, 9:00 our time. So 6:00 California time. And then that means those kids were lining up at 11 p.m. So those kids and those staff there and the fans were all there for hours and hours and hours and hours. And so let's talk about the game. First of all, the quarterback at Cal is actually a Miami native. A lot of people did not know that going into that. His name is Fernando Mendoza, and truly a Miami native in the sense that he went to Columbus High School, which is an amazing high school down here in the Miami Coral Gables area. And even more, his father, Fernando Mendoza Sr., played football with Coach Mario Cristobal at Columbus years ago.
That's right.
So they already said, Fernando said going into this game, it's not you down. Like, he has nothing but utmost respect for the Cane. He grew up a Cane fan.
He wanted to be a member of the Cane.
He wanted to. It's just the door didn't open, at the time. And so, but hey, he got into Cal, which is a great school. So academically and everything as well. So going into this game, Fernando obviously wanted to put a stamp on that game and say, hey, kind of like, you didn't pick me, look at me now. And I mean, starting off, it sure looked like that was going to be the case. We were losing. We were losing the majority of the game. It wasn't until like the end of the third. It was halfway through the third, and it was 10. We had 10, and they had 35. And that's at the point where a lot of the fans were just getting discouraged. Even at the watch party, we're like, come on, like, what's going on? And it was really the end of the third, fourth quarter comeback. We, at that point, were able to hold Cal for just 3 points after that. So the final score ended up being 38-39.
Right.
But there was a very good chunk of the game where it was 10-35.
We were down. The defense, was giving up some big plays there. One of those plays went to Jaden Ott, who was a Cal running back who we had the pleasure of meeting. Super cool kid. You'll show those pics in a second here. But we were down 21-10 at the half. Couldn't really move the ball offensively.
Cam didn't look good either.
Cam didn't look good. Cam didn't look good. Threw a pick six. A totally horrible throw across the field. Throwing it off his back foot. Just a horrible play. But to his credit, and he's shown the knack for coming back and making big plays when they count. And sure enough, he did that. Down 35, 35-10, as you mentioned. And to score 21 points in the fourth quarter. driving down the field for that final touchdown pass
and
to Elijah.
To a field goal.
Yep, he connected with Elijah Arroyo, a 5-yard pass with 26 seconds left to play in the game. And then, of course, for those of you who are big college football fans, you remember that this stadium, Cal Memorial Stadium, built in 1923, is home of the infamous, the craziest play in college football. Of course, talking about the kickoff where the Stanford band was on the field, and that famous call, "The band is on the field, the band is on the field." And sure enough, the touchdown upheld, and Cal won the game on a kickoff return. So 26 seconds left, and you're still worried about something like that happening. It's already happened once in that stadium. So, but no, they held on. Defense stepped up. You mentioned Fernando Mendoza. They rocked them. On a 3rd and 7 play.
Definitely looked concussioned like.
It did, and they reviewed it for targeting. Thank goodness it didn't lead to.
Close.
It was close. He
Very
did make contact with his shoulder pad first, and then there was helmet, but the initial hit showed to be shoulder pad. So thankfully, because that would have put the game over. It would have been an automatic first down, 15 yards. And they would have just milked the clock out, and the Canes would not have had a chance to do what they did.
And a lot of people said the refs. Obviously, the Canes fans, we were very emotional, and especially when we were down so much. I didn't think the refs were off by many calls. I mean, there was clear horse. A few could have went both ways.
The face mask. Yep.
But I do feel that, they called a pretty fair game. I feel like a lot of our calls were bonehead calls on our part that we should have, known better. But at the end of the day, we won the game. That's all that matters. Some big teams lost. Obviously, we'll talk about Alabama, which hopefully helps us jump a little from 8.
Yes, and before we do that, we're going to, obviously we're getting to the Dolphins. A big game today. For those of you tuning in at halftime right now, the Vikings are leading the Jets in London, 17-7. They were up 17-0, but the Jets, I just saw it now,
pesky Jets.
put a late touchdown there, and it's now 17-7 at the half over from London across the pond. But look, you mentioned the Canes are now 6-0. They got a week off now. Their next matchup is against Louisville at Louisville in 2 weeks. Cam Ward. I mean, it's the Cam Ward show. I mean, he now yesterday threw for 437 yards, 437, 2 touchdowns. He ran for a touchdown on the season. I want to get these numbers out. He is now got 2,380 yards passing on the season and 20 touchdowns. That's number 1 in the entire nation for both those categories. This guy is doing it all.
And obviously he's in talks to be the Heisman.
Yeah, he's right now at the top of the conversation, no doubt. And I mentioned Louisville coming up next. The Canes are 6-0. Louisville was ranked 22nd, but they lost yesterday to SMU. And so they're going to drop out of the top 25. But besides Louisville, there's not another. You see what FSU keeps doing, or rather what they're not doing. And so right now, the Canes are poised to run the table, win their first ever ACC championship, and have a spot in the playoffs. I mean, this is just a tremendous turnaround and an incredible story that's happening in Coral Gables.
And you say, earlier in the show, you're talking about the signs that the Cal kids made, those brainiacs, those geniuses, those future leaders of America and the world. One of my favorite signs that was not made by a Cal student, made by you student, very politically motivated, was
they all were, it seemed like.
Cam's pronouns are highs - man. I thought that was cool.
Awesome. You got to give him credit for that one. That was pretty good.
So Lou mentioned that we were there last week.
Show those pictures.
I will. Yeah. So we were. We'll save that for another episode, the whole entire talk of why we were there.
Yes.
But we were in the Bay Area, the Oakland A's last series. And before we were going to that Wednesday night, the last Oakland A's night game, Lou was like, let's take a ride to Cal Berkeley.
Yeah.
And so we did. So we drove through downtown. And
we'll get into that in the next show. We want to do like a wedding. Yeah, but I mean, you could lead into.
I'll lead into it. So we're driving through downtown. Decent area, right? Reminds me of Rutgers downtown. College vibes, cool, donut shops, smoke shops, college thing.
Yeah,
so then we start
a lot of that.
So then we start going up a mountain, but not like, you feel the altitude going up and up and up, and then you're just bam, inundated in this beautiful campus. And you see the signs for the stadium. So Lou was like, let's go look for it. Let's go look for it. And literally smack in the middle of campus is this glorified, beautiful building, this stadium. So we parked the car we parked the car, and we almost got a parking ticket because that's another story. And it was like, let's walk around. So I'm like, sure. So I just want to show you guys some pictures of.
Yeah, and while you're doing that, it's like I mentioned, very famous venue. Built in 1923, so over 100 years old. Are they coming out or
coming out now?
Yeah. So over 100 years old. Obviously, home of the play, the famous, as I mentioned, the band is on field play. There we are. Is it coming out? Are they seeing this?
They see this, yeah.
So this is So when you go at the stadium, it's actually open to the public. You'll see there the sign says no public access beyond this point, but you could still walk around the stadium. Their student wellness center is connected to the stadium, so everybody has access to it who's a student. And even if you're not a student, you can go ahead and walk around. They do put up like a rolling wall, if there's an actual practice taking place. But there's vantage points. You see the trees in the background from all over. Here's a tunnel, and right behind that tunnel, where Ashley's throwing up the U, of course, that's where we entered. And no one stopped this. They encouraged you to go out there as long as you didn't step on the field. I saw some pictures of people who were visiting that did step on the field. I wish I would have done that, but we respected the signs.
We followed
the rules. But I wish I would have done that too. But no, it's just a tremendous venue. There's the famous marking of the play, and you see there the Cal player, and he's about to score. It just did score, and he's taking out one of the trombone players from the Stanford band. This is just, if you haven't seen this play or heard about it, I don't know what you're doing, but look it up on YouTube. It's literally the craziest play in college football. Here's Jaden Ott. He is the starting running back for the Cal Golden Bears, and he actually was rehabbing. He had missed the first 2 games of the year and came back against SMU 2 weeks ago, and he was rehabbing. He passed by. And he couldn't have been a nicer kid. I mean, he had a big play in the game last night, scored a touchdown from over 60 yards out. Could not have been a cooler and nicer guy. He mentioned he's a running back, and we obviously talked about our running backs for the Dolphins and our Canes hopeful. He said, hey, I'll take a picture with you guys. I just can't throw up the U. And he laughed about it. Really cool kid. We hope to see him do lots of good things in the future. And there's Ashley with a famous bear statue. She formed a U, so she used the bear claw and her other hand to throw up the U with the golden bear. So that was a pretty cool moment. Look
at him grabbing me inappropriately. Let's talk about that, though. Look at that. Look at that shot right there. Look at those claws. Did you not see that? I was like, I got married the day before that.
Yes.
Look at that.
Was it the day before?
It was, because that was Wednesday, and we got married Tuesday, and we already have a creature grabbing at my chest right there.
Yes, I see that.
Now you see that.
Now I see that. But
you saw the other hand up here with the U, but you didn't see that.
Yeah.
Totally body grab right there.
And the statue, that picture does not do it justice. That bear is huge, man.
No, that's a good compared to you.
There I am. I'm huge too. So there I am next to the bear, and that's just a cool statue they have right in front of the stadium there. And also I didn't send you this pic, but so Aaron Rodgers obviously went to Cal, and he donated their locker room. So the locker rooms are called the Aaron Rodgers locker room. So that was pretty cool to see too. But no, just a fantastic venue.
It was really cool,
and it was awesome.
But the altitude, you definitely felt the altitudes, and that's what I was kind of worrying about our guys going up there, because you definitely feel the difference of going.
Sheldon in the house, Jonathan in the house. There. Morning, Robert.
So, and like we were saying before, there was a lot of upsets yesterday. The biggest one.
Well, one more thing I wanted to mention. Yeah. So, obviously, we're heavy Dolphin fans here, even though we're celebrating this amazing win by the Hurricanes yesterday. But another reason why I want to go to that stadium is because, unfortunately, it did have a very dark moment in Dolphins history. And I'm going to take you back to this. In 1973, the Dolphins obviously had won the perfect season. Yep. They were 17-0. They won their first 2 games in Miami to the next year. So now they're 19-0. 19 in a row. Continuation. 17-0 season in 72, and they start off the 73 season with 2 wins. So now they're 19-0, and they're headed to Oakland to play the Raiders. The week before the game, they notice that there's a big problem. The A's are playing baseball games late. They had playoff baseball. Actually, the A's won 3 straight championships, 3 straight World Series at the same time the Dolphins were winning it. So Oakland A's postseason game made that matchup go from being played in the Oakland Coliseum to Cal Memorial Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
So the Dolphins had to play the Raiders instead of at the Coliseum at this Memorial Stadium. And they lost. The Raiders beat the Dolphins and ended their 19-game winning streak. The Dolphins ended up winning the next 6 games after that. So if they hadn't lost that game, the Dolphins would have the all-time record for most wins in a row, which right now belongs to the Patriots. So, a sad part of Dolphins history took place there, and I wanted to just take that in and
Thanks.
be there.
Like we don't have enough sadness going on.
I know, but what can I tell you?
Negative Lou. It's raining out here today. It's going to be raining for the next 10 days. We're going to have this storm, and you just want to bring us down. But like I was saying before, great day in college football. Maybe not great. Some people
crazy
because people,
chaos.
Depending on what side you go, you may not think. Biggest one obviously was number 1 Alabama going down against Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt, their quarterback, this was he Argentinian?
He's Argentinian. His name is Diego. I miss his last name now, but Diego from Argentina is the quarterback. And man, he was
adorable though. He brought his whole family.
His interview at the end of the game was legendary. He dropped a few curse words and all that, but it was pretty fun to see. And then what did they do with the goalpost?
Yeah, so obviously a game like that, beating a number 1 team in the nation.
First time ever they've done that.
Yeah. They go and take the goalpost, which you knew was happening. So they uplift it, which obviously is a heavy fine in college football, which they'll be taking. And they took it down 3 miles down downtown Nashville. So all these bachelorette parties going on because it's the weekend. So all these girls celebrating girl time, bachelorette, they're seeing this monster goalpost come downtown. Incredible. And they drop it in the Cumberland River, which is obviously the famous river down there in Nashville. And they throw it in there and they celebrate. So you can't just leave a goalpost going down the river, right? So what happened was the public works, all the people, they took it out. And now what they're going to do is they're going to cut the field goal posts and they're going to sell pieces of it to raise money. Awesome. First of all, you don't know where the money's going. They need to pay the fine.
Oh, okay.
No. Let me finish that part.
That's going to be a steep fine.
Yeah, so they're using it to pay the fine first, and then obviously anything after that will go to charity. So the point of the story is if you want a piece of history, literally a piece of history, that goalpost, they will be cutting it up, and you can get a piece of that. And then obviously number 14, Tennessee went down. Number 4. Why did I say 14? Yeah. Number 4. They wish they were number 14. Yeah.
No, there was
they might be now.
There were 4 top 10 teams that lost. Tennessee was another one. They lost to Arkansas. Missouri got destroyed by Texas A&M, and then last one was a rematch of the championship last year between Michigan and Washington. Michigan traveled out to Washington, and Washington beat them. So 4 top 10 teams lost in college football. I don't know that Bama will drop that far back because they're number 1 and they play in the SEC, but the Canes are poised to move up. They're 6-0, and they're going to move up from 8 to, I would guess, 5 and possibly more. I mean, it'd be pretty interesting to see where they go.
All right, so let's talk about today. Obviously, it is Sunday. It is game day, and Dolphins go to Gillette. A lot of people are asking, are we in Gillette? No. This is the first Dolphins game that we are missing this season.
That's right. Yeah, this is we went to the first 4. Maybe it's a good thing because we're 1-3 on the year. We attended all 3 home games, and of course the disaster that was that Seattle game, which, just because I'm a glutton for punishment, I will have to just give a quick recap of my views on that game. But
you want to go back to that game? That's 2 games ago.
We missed it. We didn't talk about it.
I mean, look, people are past that. I think we're good.
I want to just mention, before we talk about, I just want to mention how the fact that we traveled out there. Obviously, we're out there for our wedding. But a lot of people showed up, right? We had a good showing out there.
Great turnout.
We had a great turnout.
Even the Seahawks fans said, wow, there's a lot of Dolphins fans. Yeah,
yes,
no, those were the best ones.
But those people traveled.
But you don't know that, Lou. There's a lot of people that live out there. So
I know. But a lot of people from Miami did make it out for that game. And we essentially traveled cross country, just like yesterday was the longest college football distance.
Minus Hawaii,
the lower 48. And then the same thing for the NFL. Miami to Seattle is the longest distance possible. And for those people who traveled from Miami and went out there to watch the team kick a field goal was very, very, very upsetting.
Yeah, but the real problem is, let's look at our first 5 weeks. First week, Tyreek goes down, but it's leading up to week 5.
Yes.
Yeah, so obviously week 1, we have the whole debacle with Tyreek Hill. Week 2, we lose 2. Week 3, we lose Skyler. Week 4, we just get destroyed on Monday Night Football, and now starting week 5, Jalen Phillips is out. So this is how the first 5 weeks of our football are going, and I'll just say it's terrible. It's terrible. Every week there's something, and they're not little minor things. We're not talking, an offensive lineman is out for 2-3. You're talking major things. You're talking our star wide receiver Tyreek Hill, major issue with the cops that could probably distract the team, but we won, but distract the team. Number 2, another thing with Tua, and out for at least the next 2 weeks, at least.
And then we lost, a big player in the defense, Jalen Phillips is out for the season.
And then our backup quarter, Skyler, gets hurt in Seattle. Then we have to, it's just, and then, Jalen Phillips. And then Monday night, it's supposed to be like, hey, Tennessee's back. They hurt our feelings last year. It's time. And Tennessee's not a great team. They're a subpar team. And they just destroy us on a silver platter home Monday Night Football at the Hard Rock and just destroy our souls. So,
that was a full circle moment for us. I do want to mention Seattle one more time, just really quick, get out of the way. The fans were loud. A lot of people.
No kidding, it's a lot
the fans. It is. It's impressive, right? I mean, they're known as the 12th man. They raise the flag to indicate that
Jordan Biles was the one who, obviously, our USA gold Olympic champion, gymnastic champion. Jordan Childs was the one who led the chant and everything, so that was cool to see her there. No, it was awesome.
They're loud, and it's not just like here in Miami. The crowd.
It's like no other.
The crowd starts to go nuts when the announcer comes on. Kenny Walker, the PA announcer, says, "Hey, it's third down." Over there, it's first, second, and third down. They're loud the whole.
And they stand the whole time as opposed to our
stand the whole time. I want to also give a shout out to Billy and Morgan, who sat right behind us. Seahawks fans. They were awesome. They definitely made the experience a lot better. This one
was getting on the nerves of some Seahawks fans. So we had our own personal security. No, there were some great.
They were awesome. So shout out to you guys. And no, look, we had a great time. Unfortunately, the game didn't go at all in our favor. We lost Skyler. Then Tim Boyle comes in. Tim Boyle couldn't do anything to the point where he's been released outright this past week. He was released, which is very disconcerting and we've been trying to get reports. Skylar Thompson is still questionable. I've not seen him officially ready to go, and we don't have another quarterback, so it's pretty much just Tyler Huntley.
You hear that I'm suiting up?
Oh yeah,
people think I'm suiting up based on.
You better hurry up and fly up right now.
Oh, I'm good.
You might make the second half at this point, but no, it's very disconcerting. So yeah, you got that, and then. You mentioned it. The last game on Monday Night Football was supposed to be a full circle moment for us. I proposed to Ashley last December in a Monday Night Football game against Tennessee, and they lost that game. And then we come back in our first game as a married couple, and Tennessee, does it to us again. And I don't know what to do. I mean, the Dolphins at this point.
You don't know what to do. There's nothing you can do. You married me. You did that.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the fact that the Dolphins can't figure this out. And just look, Tennessee was 0-3 heading into that game. I know that Snoop, Tyler Huntley just got signed. He's been here for less than 3 weeks. I understand that, but man, he was a Pro Bowl quarterback at one point in his life. He's certainly capable of it, and we saw nothing. It was just a stagnant, awful, penalty-riddled performance. I mean, there was nothing that went right in that game. And here we are.
Bad play calling again by Coach McDaniel.
Horrible play calling. Horrible. Specifically, and again, we'll get into other stuff here about today's game coming up. But man, it was 3rd and 11 from our own 39-yard line, and he runs a quarterback sneak. It was a designed, quarterback play on 3rd and 11,
and then urgencies in the huddle. It's just a lot.
And we got 3 yards out of it, and we ended up settling for a 56-yard field goal. Thank goodness Sanders nailed it. But what are we doing here? I mean, you got to come up with some kind of plan. All these penalties for illegal shifts, not being able to move the ball, vertically, just, settling for plays that are going for negative yards. I mean, there's no – and you want to give McDaniel a pass. You want to, right? This is our 5th week. You've started 3 quarterbacks and 4 overall have played. One of them with you've released, And so you want to say, oh, look, he's up against it here. It's a bad, bad hand that he's been dealt. But screw that. You're an offensive guru. What happened when San Francisco, when they lost Jimmy Garoppolo and then they lost Blaine Gabbert, and then some guy called Brock Purdy comes in that Mike McDaniel system, and Brock Purdy, who was at that point getting 10% of the snaps, comes in and gangbusters. He hasn't looked back. So why is it that McDaniel cannot do the same thing with the quarterbacks on this roster, and specifically with Skylar Thompson, who has been here for 3 years.
So is it him or is it
well,
the players?
And that's where I'm leading to. That's what I'm trying to say here is that a lot of people were saying that Tua is nothing without McDaniel. And now what it's looking like is like McDaniel is nothing without Tua because he has not been able to figure this out in these 3 weeks. And it's awful. It's pathetic to have seen what this team has not been able to do on offense.
Our crowd booed the Dolphins, and I posted it. I don't give a crap. I don't give a crap. I said, don't kill the messenger. I said, this is what's going down. They're getting booed. And I mean, you booed. I couldn't bring myself to it. But it's terrible. So
I didn't boo. You said, ooh. I was not booing. I was saying that, guys, let's have some kind of a sense of urgency here.
Yeah.
I mean, you're down 31-12, and you're huddling. Why are you huddling? I mean, again, it goes back to Mike McDaniel being this, offensive guru.
Yeah.
How is it possible that you don't have? I don't care if the quarterback's been here 3 weeks or 3 days. How is it possible that you don't have? All right, we're going to run now some no huddle stuff because if we're down by 16 points or we're down by 3 points and we're down by 4 points and we got to try and score a touchdown at the end of the game. What are you going to do? You're going to huddle and waste time? And then that's the other thing. McDaniel has had a horrible tendency to blow timeouts for ridiculous challenges or because they can't get a playoff. And then now down the stretch, you don't have timeouts to stop the clock.
Yeah, it's too bad. So obviously today, they, I'm using the right pronouns because we are not part of it today. We play at Gillette, 1:00. We were there last year. We had a great time. We ended up winning that game. It was a primetime game. It was Sunday night, right? Sunday night game was it?
It was Sunday Night Football,
Sunday Night Football.
Sunday night, the Patriots, to their credit, and I hate Patriots, but they did wear their throwback.
Yeah, we had a great time.
Wore the throwback red jerseys with the original Patriot logo of the patriotic colonial man snapping the football. I think it's an awesome logo and great uniform, so I'll give them credit for that. I'll say one nice thing about them.
Yeah, and also I'll say another nice thing. As we were driving to Gillette, we saw Friendlies. I made you do a massive U-turn.
That's right.
To get
you love your Friendlies.
I do. And then one downfall about Gillette, it's a beautiful stadium. Let's just say how it is. It's beautiful. But getting out of there, the parking is probably one of the worst we've ever seen. It doesn't move. You just wait there.
And how bad is it? They don't even charge for parking. It's free parking. Amazing. I mean, if you want to park like on the stadium, like right on the stadium grounds, like pull up. But other than that, it's free parking all the way around. You still can't get out of there. I mean, it's in the middle of nowhere. Okay. It's kind of a hike.
So this is an AFC East rivalry going on. Both teams are 1-3. And it's a must-win game. I say this all the games, but we got to put a stamp on it. We have to start trying to gain some traction in the AFC East, and the Patriots are going to be good. Patriots are going to be hungry. They see what we've gone through. They know our weaknesses, and they're ready for us.
Yeah, let's take you inside the series. So the Dolphins and Patriots have met 100. This is going to be their 118th meeting. The Dolphins hold a 62-55 advantage in the series. We're 1-2 against them in the playoffs. We've met 3 times in the playoffs, so we're 1-2 against them overall there. As you mentioned, both teams are 1-3. The AFC East right now is kind of open. The Bills had a horrible showing last week. They got destroyed by the Ravens. So they're 3-1, but then the Jets are right behind them 2-2. And what's the score of the game? I can't see.
17-7.
So it's 17-7. The Jets right now projected to lose, hopefully, this game if the score holds up.
Yeah.
And then, it's us and the Patriots right now tied for third place or tied for last, however you want to see it, at 1-3. And so something's got to give. This is pretty much a make or break game for both these teams. And geez, we need to come up with a victory here today.
One thing I like about playing in New England today is there is one person that we will not see.
Who's that?
Your boy, Bill Belichick.
Oh, yes.
No more Bill, right?
No more
this
Bill.
Is beautiful.
Yes.
Like, this is a new Patriots team that you are not going to see Bill Belichick's catfish face on the sidelines.
That's right.
So I'm fine. You know what I mean? At all these games playing against Bill, he always had that one look, or the other look, or the other look. So Bill's not there. So super excited to play the Patriots without Bill. Let's just say it how it is.
Yeah, no doubt.
Aren't you tired of seeing him all those years? Come on, give me something.
But you know what? He's in all these commercials now, too.
He's in everything. You still see him.
I just hope he does not come back to coach because obviously Don Shula's
he won't be there today. So at least that's a focus that you don't have to stop the TV, take pictures of as many looks that you have, to say, oh, Bill Belichick this. So that is interesting.
We will see a former friend of ours who used to play for us as well. I'm talking about Jacoby Brissett.
Of course.
Jacoby Brissett is their starting quarterback right now.
Yes.
Of course, the Patriots drafted Drake May in the first round, 3rd overall pick out of North Carolina, and he is the future, or they think he's the future. But Jacoby's holding down the fort right now. Jacoby is what he is. He's like a journeyman quarterback, serviceable, right? He's won games for us. He had a good run in Indianapolis, won some games in Cleveland while Deshaun Watson was out.
Yep.
So, we know what Jacoby, he's sneaky good quarterback.
Sneaky.
We know what we could do. And, the way Snoop Huntley looked last week, I would say he's a better quarterback on the field today. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Huntley is able to do something out there today. But look, Jacoby's a guy who can move the ball, and we're familiar with his work. So we'll see what happens out there on the field today. 1:00.
Prediction.
So the Dolphins are favored as last
1.5,
check
right?
by 1.5.
Yeah.
They're favored by 1.5 at last check. You want to give my prediction? Well,
let's just get into it.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, look, it's very disconcerting what's happening to the Dolphins.
Do you want me to start?
You could start. Sure, go ahead. Yeah.
17-10 New England.
Yeah. I'm gonna, I'm trying to be positive here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? You brought up the Seattle game. How much more?
Yeah. Well, look, you got to call it like it is, right? The same way we could celebrate the Canes and be in all our glory about last night. You got to be real with what's happening with the Dolphins right now, and it's a very dark time. Some of it is in our control, some of it's not.
We all know
the fact that you lose a guy like your number one quarterback first of all, and then you lose a guy like Jalen Phillips after all he did to come back. We
haven't seen a healthy Mostert all year.
Correct. Well, Mostert is, and we're going to go to the injury report. Mostert is scheduled to play today. Also, Odell Beckham Jr. is expected to make his Dolphins debut today. I don't know how much that can help. If you can't get the ball to Waddle or Tyreek Hill, how are you going to find Odell Beckham? And then Jordan Poyer is out today on the defensive end. Nick Needham was elevated to the active roster, so that helps a little bit. But it's tough. It's tough to feel good about the team.
So score prediction. Stop going around it.
The last thing I'll say is this is pretty much gonna tell the prediction. The Dolphins have scored 1 touchdown in their last 11 quarters.
That's like an NFL low. 1
touchdown in the last 11 quarters. This team today, this matchup today features the 2 bottom of the league teams. Both the Patriots and the Dolphins are last in the league in scoring. And I'm sorry, I have not seen anything that motivates me to say that they're going to come out of a win here at Foxborough. We were there last year. They weren't a good team last year, and we walked away with a 7-point victory.
Yeah.
And this year they're worse. But one thing about their fans don't give up. Their fans are going to show up. They don't sell, tickets to outside fans. You
can't get group tickets.
It's very scattered when visiting teams take over that stadium or try to take over that stadium. So I just don't see any positive, way that the Dolphins can show me something different than what they did the last 2 weeks. And I'm going to say, unfortunately, I'm going to say the Patriots are going to. I'm predicting them to beat us 16-10. And I hope I'm wrong.
Well, of course we do.
We need this win. Look, if it's the opposite and we're able to somehow pull this out, guess what? We got a bye week, and then we got the Indianapolis Colts coming, a game that, as you're aware, we're going to. We got a trip planned out there. We got events throughout the weekend. For those of you who booked the trip with us, we're going to be sending you information upcoming here. If not, towards the end of this week, leading up to that Monday or Tuesday of game week. We got a lot of fun stuff planned. We're determined to have a good time, even though our Dolphins are not, making us feel good about ourselves right now. But we're going to go out there and have a good time. We're going to, rep our team, rep our colors, and be out there and enjoy ourselves on the road. So, like I said, if the Dolphins are able to somehow pull this out, right? You got the bye week, and then you got an Indianapolis team that's reeling right now. We don't know if their quarterback's going to play today. Jonathan Taylor, their star running back, who was linked to us last year, he is out today. So, and they're playing against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are 0-4.
Struggling.
They're struggling as well. But if they lose, if the Jaguars are able to beat the Colts and the Colts lose, now that's a team that is going to start questioning themselves. So if we can win today and we got a bye week, we can fix this. If we lose today, then it's going to look very, very bleak for us to have a chance to stay in contention here for the playoffs. And then more above all that is this. And this is the big elephant in the room. Tua, right? Tua is scheduled to come back. It's not by weeks. So everybody thought, oh, it's 4 weeks, so he could come back for the Indianapolis game. No, it's 4 games. And because we have a bye week after this game, he has to miss that 4th game, which is Indianapolis. The thing is this: if we lose these next 2 games and we're sitting at 1-5, do you bring back Tua? Do you? What's the incentive to bring back a guy who's coming off a concussion, his 4th, and try to save a season that at that point might not be able to be salvaged? So that is all the more reason why this game is of great importance. And next week against, or the week after against Indianapolis, the Dolphins have to figure out a way to get a win or 2 wins here to keep us in contention.
Agreed. Yeah. No, it's a must win. So yeah, some score predictions around. You have a 19. So I think all of us are in agreement that this is not going to be a high scoring game. Obviously, we have 19-10 Fins here. As Fins said, 13-10 Dolphins. So we're all agreeing it's going to be maybe heavy field goal, low scoring. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Do want to mention some other notable games. As we mentioned, the Jets are playing in England right now against the Vikings. The Vikings are leading. It's 17-10 now. So the Jets have put up.
No, I'm sorry. No, 17-7.
17-7. So the Jets are still down 10 points. 3rd quarter here coming up. Also, big game today between the Ravens and the Bengals. Those are 2 contending teams in the AFC. The Bengals are off to a bad start, and the Ravens are 2-2. So that's going to be a big game in that division-wise. And then the Bills are going to Houston and playing the Texans. That's obviously the Stephon Diggs Bowl. Diggs was traded to the Texans.
Yeah, Houston.
So, that's going to be a big game. If the Texans can help us out and win, and we can take care of business, we're only 1 game out. We see the Bills again.
It's true.
Bless you. Again.
It's true.
It's true. But yeah, no. So if the Texans at home can help us out and beat those Bills,
that'd be nice.
And we can take care of business today, we're only 1 game out of the division lead. As mentioned, the Jets are losing right now.
Yeah.
We put the Patriots behind us, so we could end up in 2nd place if we were able to win today and have the other results go our way.
Yes.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Ms. Vince. Thank you.
So obviously it's great to have a full day of football. And before we wrap it up, obviously we are in October baseball, one of my favorite times. Unfortunately, as you know, the Marlins are not in October baseball. Skip has officially gone, and so is Mel, and so we're clearing out a lot of house. But we are in agreement of who we want to go to win Mets. We like the Mets.
Yes, I know it's going to surprise a lot of people.
Oh, they didn't know that. Sorry, I'm like announcing some news.
Well, yeah. So I have a group chat with my buddies Chris and Adam, who are big baseball fans, and so I kind of broke the news to them. And the Mets are playing the Phillies. I'll be clear. I'm not. We're
not jumping ship.
No, not jumping ship. But I'm also not actively, passionately rooting for the Mets. I just would like to see them do well. And the reason why is because you have your connection, which is more valid. But I'm going to give my reason why. When I was growing up here, there were no Marlins, obviously. The Marlins didn't come around until I was in high school. And so there were 3 teams to watch down here: the Braves, the Yankees, and the Mets. All my friends were Yankee fans. They still are. They all love the Yankees. And the Braves were another team because they were on TBS all the time. The Braves were horrible, and I never kind of got behind their uniforms. And then the Mets. The Mets were, I always loved their colors, the blue and orange and the way their logo was. And they had, at the time, Darryl Strawberry and Dwight Gooden. I know not 2 of the best role models out there, but they were cool players to watch. Like Dwight Gooden on the mound, his delivery was impeccable. And that Darryl Strawberry swing, the way he wiggled the bat left-handed, hit some majestic home runs.
Aaron Rodgers hurt. Yeah, I saw it.
Is he?
Yeah, they're showing it here.
Wow.
It looks like he showed here. I think it looks like he got hit. Let's see.
Oh no. I am obviously we're not Jets fans here, but you never want to wish injury on anybody. And specifically him. He missed all of last season. He only played like 3 snaps. So you don't want to see that. Hopefully he's okay. Again, our Jets hatred aside, you don't want to see anybody ever get hurt. So hopefully Aaron Rodgers is okay.
You have another score prediction.
What?
Josephine Ebby from Daytona Beach, Florida says 17-10 Miami.
All right. I like the positive vibes. Come on.
So he's back in. Aaron Rodgers is back in.
He's back. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So he's back. He's not hurt. That's good. That's
so
good.
It seems like we're just the only negative Nellies today.
Yeah, apparently
Everyone else is but yeah, so the Mets. So we're not actively cheering. We don't have a thing that says like Shea Stadium, come back. None of that, right? We're just, if we had to pick a team, that's who we'd like to see.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a Subway Series too, right?
I said that as
we
well.
were just in Oakland. Again, we're going to talk about this more on our show next week.
Yeah.
We're going to really break down our adventure. We were out for 12 days total. And we saw a lot of cool games, saw a lot of cool things. And the first and foremost biggest thing is we got married, right? So we want to definitely share that.
Ring?
I'm not wearing my room now because we're home, but that's all right. We're home. But yeah, no. So we will discuss that more. But where was I going with that? You just mentioned
the
something.
Subway Series.
Yes.
Oh.
So while we were out there,
don't marry older. They forget everything. And
while we were out there, we saw the Bay Bridge Series, which can't happen anymore because the Oakland A's have obviously moved and they will be moving to Las Vegas eventually. But that was iconic, that Bay Bridge that separates San Francisco and Oakland, and the subway obviously connects the Mets and the Yankees. So that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Subway Series. Also, I do have a soft spot because I do feel bad about them, and I'm going to call them the Cleveland Indians, not the Guardians. But no, I'd like to see Cleveland maybe get to the World Series. They haven't won since 1948. They had two heartbreaking losses, one to the Marlins in 1997. So I do have a soft spot for the Indians as well. I wouldn't mind seeing a Mets-Indians World Series. That'd be pretty cool.
We had a great time last year at Progressive Field when we went up there for Canton, one of our
fantastic ballpark.
Sheldon dropped a score prediction. Hey, Sheldon.
Nice.
1 to 10.
I like it, Sheldon.
All right, so we're the only negative ones. Everyone else is just,
I think it's reverse jinx. I'm going to say a negative score and hope for the best. So, but I appreciate everybody's optimism. And yes, Miss Finn says go Yankees. Robert says
go Mets.
Go Mets. Look,
I'm here to see it.
These rivalries right now. You got the Padres who blew a game last night. They were winning 4-0, 3-0. They lost to the Dodgers.
They started off hot that game.
Yep. But Dodgers Padres, that's a big division rivalry. The West Division,
Mets Phillies.
National League. Mets Phillies.
Huge.
They've actually never been in the playoffs, but Northeast and
hour and a half apart from each other, really easy.
Yeah, that's a big rivalry there. Then on the other side, you got Kansas City and the Yankees. Yeah. And for those of you who know your history, they've had some major postseason matchups. George Brett famously running out of the dugout after the Yankees accused him of putting a pine tar on his back. So that's a rivalry. And the Tigers and the Guardians are also, I keep saying Guardians, but I want to say Indians. But Cleveland and Detroit, they're a big rival as well in the AL Central. So no, you got some great matchups.
Great October baseball.
And a lot of stars too, right? Like Ohtani, what he's doing. I mean, what would Ohtani look like on a big stage?
Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso.
Yeah.
Coming to see the game against Milwaukee, 8th inning comes.
Yeah.
It was like a storyteller.
You say Pete, and I want to mention that, we lost some big names in the world of sports this past week. Pete Rose, the all-time hit king, who, he had a questionable past, let's call it what it is, but he is the all-time hit king.
Can I say the next one?
I am a big believer that record will never be broken. I mean, you gotta get 200 hits a year for over 20 years consistently, and I just don't see that happening. I think that record will stand forever. And he also had a 44-game hitting streak. DiMaggio, obviously, that record also will never be broken. 56, but Pete Rose second on that list with 44, and just. Charlie Hustle, right, was his nickname. The guy played like his hair was on fire, ran through walls, ran through catchers, whatever he needed to do to win games, he did it. He also bet on some games. That's another story.
They had a segment yesterday with A-Rod. I didn't know how close him and A-Rod were. They had such a beautiful relationship. I enjoyed learning about that.
No doubt. They worked on Fox for a number of years there. Yeah. So yeah, rip Pete Rose. Again, I know he's got questionable past, but look, you cannot deny the stats. And my thing is this, look, OJ, let's be real. OJ Simpson, he did a bad thing, right? I don't think anybody's going to now, advocate that, we don't know. He's, he was still looking for the real killers until they died. But he did the worst thing you could do in life. And he's in the Hall of Fame. He never got. So Pete Rose should have been in a while ago. And, now that he's gone, I think in the next couple of years here, he's going to end up having his plaque in Cooperstown.
Definitely. Also, some more love from the Palm Coast fans up there. parents said, "Go Finns!" Starting to get into football. Never too late to get into football, as long as it's Miami Dolphins football. And wrapping it up as it's starting to pour outside.
Yeah.
Good thing we don't have a home game today.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be terrible.
You want to mention the other person?
I know. I get sad thinking about it. I had to catch my breath for a second there. Mutombo passed away. Mutombo was one of my favorite NBA players growing up. He played for my beloved New Jersey Nets. Mutombo was young.
Yeah, 58 years old, brain cancer. He played for a number of teams. He had a run with the Nets, but his biggest team was with the Denver Nuggets, where he upset the Seattle Supersonics. That was the first 8th seed ever to upset a number 1 seed.
Yeah.
5-game series at that time, but still, that Sonics team was stacked.
Yeah.
Talking about Gary Payton, Sean Kemp, the Shrimp, and Mutombo by himself pretty much, took care of business and had that upset. There's a very famous picture of him on the Key Arena floor, holding the basketball and just like crying. And but you know what? And I mentioned this in the post that I put, more than what he did on the basketball court, what he did off the court is what really resonates with me. He did so much for his country. Africa. Just gave back to the kids that needed it, and always lending his name to charities, and any charity. He was always willing to lend his name and his time. And obviously, he was very famous for blocking shots, and the commercial he did with a no, when he would wave his finger, wag his finger when he would block people. So just an awesome guy, and 58 years old. I mean,
brain cancer.
Yeah, Pete Rose lived to 83, a full life, but 58 years old, man. You're so young.
And they kept it very hush-hush,
Yeah, that was
And
tough.
then Brett Favre with Parkinson's. I mean, there's just
that's
another thing. So there's a lot of sadness.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's not end on this note. We have a Dolphins game we still need to watch in an hour.
Yeah.
So stay positive.
Yep.
Jets are still losing, so that's always a good thing.
Yeah, that's great. And as mentioned, the
Canes won.
The Canes won. We're still on air on Cloud Nine on that. And as mentioned, the Bills got a tough game today.
Yeah,
hopefully Texas can help us out and win. Things are all of it has to happen now is the Dolphins got to take care of business today in Foxborough and come out with a win.
All right. Well, what do you say? Ready to get into some Sunday football?
Yeah, let's watch the end of this game. Hopefully the Vikings can.
We got 50 seconds left in the third, and then I have a nice fourth quarter leading up to the 1:00 games.
And what happened there? The Jets just doing it complete?
Yeah. Typical Aaron.
It's still 17-7, right?
Yeah. Aaron's giving his motions.
Yeah, so you got a 4th and 8th right here with 53 seconds left, and it looks like the Jets are about to kick a field goal.
So that's your 10
So they could cut it to a 7-point lead, but like I said, hopefully the Vikings, who are undefeated, could still hold on and take care of those Jets.
I didn't see this game being this close. I thought it'd be a lot of.
I did too. I thought this would be a higher scoring game for the Vikings, but we'll see how it goes. What's this?
Do you think Devonta Smith gets traded to the Jets?
Wow, that's an interesting one. I don't know about that because.
Adams.
Devontae Adams. Sorry, yeah. Devonta Smith is with the Eagles. He had the Eagles are a mess right now. Devonta Smith and AJ Brown obviously have not played the last game, and they got a bye week this week. But the Eagles are a mess. Devontae Adams, that's a great question. I don't know. I mean, he obviously had some of his best years with Aaron Rodgers, and so maybe getting them together could work. The Jets, as you see, are struggling right now. But
they're playing against one of the best teams, if not the best teams in the league. So I mean, that was kind of.
That's true. The Raiders are going nowhere fast, so they may be poised to make that move. And that would be scary because Aaron Rodgers, as mentioned, reunited with one of his favorite targets in his career would be a scary proposition. And we still got to play him twice, including the last game of the year. So I hope it doesn't happen. But yes, to your point, Ms. Finns, it looks like there's traction towards that possibly happen. But that would not be good for the Dolphins, that's for sure. So we'll see.
All right, guys. Well, what do you say? Ready to start getting ready for the Dolphins game? Let's hope that our luck turns around this week. Get that win before we go into a bye week, then head to Indy. So, guys, it has been fun. We are about 5 hours behind in sleep because obviously we didn't get home until 3:30 in the morning, but it was so worth it.
It's crazy.
Canes.
We'll talk about it. Speaking about getting home late and crazy traveling, we did all that.
Exhausted.
I'm still on West Coast time. So
I'm not. I'm adjusted. I'm just drained.
We're looking to do a show. We're trying to do a show from San Francisco. We actually took our setup and we're trying to do it from the Golden Gate Bridge. Couldn't get service out there, and then we just had so much stuff going on. We couldn't, highlighted by our marriage, so we couldn't get it done. But we will definitely do a wedding recap show and talk about our amazing adventure and all the awesome things that we saw while out west. And we'll be doing that at some point next week. And above all, hopefully, when we do that next show, we are celebrating a Dolphins win and some kind of life, some kind of momentum that we've been lacking here these last 3 weeks.
And also, before we get off, guys, track this storm, this Hurricane Milton. It is looking like a beast right now. It is shifting. Some projectors have it going towards more northeast. Some of them are dropping more towards the southeast trend. From what we're showing, well, not we're showing, what's showing right now is looking like a direct hit to Tampa. It would be the worst storm that Tampa would ever have in about 100 years. They're already talking about shutting Disney down for at least 2 days. And, the Gulf Coast and, the west coast of Florida is just constant hits. So, guys, be vigilant. Don't wait till the last minute. Prepare for this storm. These storms are nothing to joke about. They are serious. We obviously saw what pretty much a tropical storm did to North Carolina, and we are very vulnerable here in Florida. So, guys, do not wait. Prepare. Models change even up to hours before, we've learned. So get ready for this one because this one's looking like a big one.
Yeah, and prayers up to everybody in Carolina, as you mentioned. That looks so sad. A lot of people, it's a total loss, right? Because they don't have flood insurance, and
no,
the town was completely inundated with water.
in Asheville, those Hendersonville.
Just thoughts and prayers with those that are really up against it here, and we hope everybody in the path of this storm coming now is safe, and stay safe, and then like you said,
it's the storm surge is the big thing. Winds okay, but the storm surge when the water just rises as we're looking at pouring out now. So.
Yeah, it's pouring out, but again, everybody hopefully stay vigilant, stay safe, and prayers your way.
All right, let's get this dub today.
Yeah, let's get this win. Let's take our minds off that stuff with some football today. It's a full day of football. Good football. You got a good game tonight, Pittsburgh and Cowboys. You got as mentioned, Texans and Bills coming up. You got football right now over from London. It's
football
a full day of football.
Got Kansas City and Saints tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right.
Got some baseball. Hockey is starting this week. Basketball starting in 2 weeks. Got a lot of things going on.
Yeah. Have a happy Sunday, guys, and have a great week ahead. And we will see you when we see you next.
Bye. Fins up.
Fins up. Fins up. Come on.